All right, and we're back. This is episode 138 of the Taproom Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. Man, I'm excited for this one. This is the episode I got to record with T.O. Hunter over at from Crowns and Hops. I'm super grateful, that we got to do that, and yeah, I think we went for like 2 hours, 15 minutes or something like that. It was wild. It just kept going, but it was so and I mean that in the best way possible. It was so great, and it felt like, I don't know, I hadn't really felt like I had an episode like that, and it was, I can't describe it. It was just really, it was a fun, great time. And it was great getting to know him. It was great, hearing his story about him and Benny, starting, or going to festivals and kind of starting this social media presence. And then, obviously starting the brewery down the road, or starting Crowns and Hops and stuff like that. It was just, man, it was inspiring. So yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear that. It was a really great time. So stay tuned. It'll be up in a little bit. Before we jump into the episode, I just got back from Florida on Friday. Man, I got to go to Daytona on the last day after work. So I got to go check out the Daytona International Speedway. That was awesome. And I've always, I grew up obviously a big Jeff Gordon fan and Jimmy Johnson and stuff like that. So it was always Hendrick Motorsports for me. So, but seeing Daytona was really cool. Got to go to Landshark, which I know I'm not the biggest macro guy, but I do love a good Landshark. Can't deny that and the beach. And it was going down to Daytona Beach, the white sand beaches, all that good stuff. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. So let's see, what else do we got? Man, we had some football yesterday. 2 big upsets in college football. We had Texas lose to Florida. I freaking called it. I was texting with my cousin, who's a big Florida fan, and I was texting him on Friday. I was like, dude, I think I'm going to lay money down on the money line for Florida to win tomorrow. He's like, man, I don't know. Which I get it. They've played a really tough schedule. I think they have the toughest schedule in college football. So I went in, I laid down some money. That hit. And I was texting, I was like, dude, I told you. Their defense is too good, and they just, they kept shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers. But, they're, they have a quality team. They have a really, really quality team. And then also UCLA, congrats to them on upsetting number 7 Penn State, and Franklin does it again. I said it at the beginning of the season, they always find a way. Everybody kept talking about, oh, this is the best Penn State roster they've had. And I said it before the season started. They are just they always find a way to fuck it up. Sorry, it's just the truth. But hopefully they can rebound. I don't know what's going to be happening to Franklin now, especially after the Oregon loss. With the Oregon loss, you understand, but the UCLA loss and the way it happened, yeah, because they had to come crawling back, and they did. Granted, they have fight in them. But I just don't think Penn State's that great of a team. All right. MLB playoffs started. The Dodgers won yesterday. Kudos and congrats to the Dodgers. Can't come from behind, too. There you go. And then also, what else they got? The Brewers ended up just stomping out the Cubs. And I was like, man, what's going on? Hopefully the Cubs can turn it around. But I know it's always tough losing game 1 in a best of 5. I don't know what the stat is, but I feel like if you lose game 1, you usually don't come back and win it. But we'll see. It's always, baseball playoffs are always fun. I love, baseball. It's a great sport, but, football's going on right now too. The Packers got a bye. SC had a bye. But yeah, today I'm going to go record with the Buds, Brews, and Booze podcast. So shout out to Des. I'm going to be recording with her today, and then she's also going to be on my show. So we're going to be doing that. Also trying to get some stuff in the works for some episodes I need to record out here. Think I'm going to be recording 2 in San Diego on the 25th. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. I'm not going to say who with who yet, but stay tuned. All right, but this is going to be intro. It's going to be on the shorter side. I got to wash some clothes, got to get some food, and then I got to go record. So, all right, well, hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Tio. And Tio, just from me to you, man, just want to say thank you again. It was awesome. I'm just super grateful that you allowed me to come down and talk with you for a few hours. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy this. Stay tuned for the outro. All right, guys, we're back in the tap room, and I'm your host, Mike, and I have a very special guest on the show today. Someone I've wanted to have on the show for a long time. It's T.O. Hunter of Crowns and Hop Brewing Company. What's going on, brother?
It's cracking, OG.
Yeah, what's going on?
But you know, anybody tell you got like an NPR kind of vibe going on? You got that.
Oh, the voice? Yeah. People always tell me, they're like, your voice is so relaxing, or like, and then sometimes people too, they're like, your voice is a lot deeper on the show than it is in person. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't.
You got your...
You got me beat right now, though.
Yeah, man. Mike and Tia.
There it is.
Coming at you from the tap room.
Oh,
It's cracking, OG. Thanks for coming out, man.
No, man. Thanks for letting me come down. We're drinking the Trill Pills?
Trill Pills, baby.
Oh, man. It was so good. I had it earlier.
Look at Mike with the grown man pour. Gulp.
Oh, man.
Y'all can't see this, but like one gulp, like a quarter of the glass. Well done, bro.
Yeah. Gotta dive right in.
Yeah, man.
I would say jump in, water's fine. Oh, man. So, I mean, I know I've mentioned it already, but like, I've always wanted to have you on the show. I saw you at LA Beer Fest, and honestly, shout out to Art, because Art said sent me a picture of you when you guys were sitting here. I was like, hey, man.
What up, homie Art?
Yeah, I was like, you want to ask him if he could be on the show?
Like, hell yeah, man. Tell him to pull up.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we got to make it happen, but man, I'm super thankful and grateful for you to allow me to do this, but I'm just so curious about how it all started for you, man.
Whew. It started like you, man.
Yeah.
I think many people that know our journey, and as we, we're going into our 7th year as Crowns and Hops Brewing Company, I'm realizing that a lot of people don't realize where we started from.
Yeah.
And with that said, we started literally as fans.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I bet you get a lot of burps on this.
Oh, yeah, you're good, yeah.
We started as just super fans. I got into craft beer myself, I would say back around 2006, 2008.
Okay, that was right around my time, too.
Yeah, so it just really was just someone introducing me to craft beer for the first time as an adult. Like I didn't even understand what craft beer was until we went to, it was like the opening week of Father's Office, Culver City.
Oh, wow.
And we went there to celebrate a project that we won, because I was just going to go to the liquor store and get some Heinekens or some, just something off the shelf. And he was like, bro, no, we got to celebrate. And we went, and he had the beer tender open up a beer of Allagash Curio.
Ooh.
And, when he whipped it out, I'm like, what? I'm like, that's a cork?
Yeah, what the hell is this?
I'm like, what are we drinking here,
Yeah.
And, that was just the beginning of the rabbit hole for me. And, it was just me at that point, and just traveling all over San Diego. My daughters at the time were in softball tournaments. So that was like the cheat code that I had for being, anywhere near Miramar at that time. And I just jumped all the way down the rabbit hole, just going to any brewery that, I could find. I would just pull up Yelp, and anything that was in the vicinity, I was going there and getting a flight.
I love it.
First beer tour was Stone Escondido.
Mine too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. They're literally on my Mount Rushmore. Primarily because of that influence. I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but one cannot discount the influence of Stone
and what they did for the industry.
Precisely. So, fast forward, I met Benny Ashburn, and I think we were in Santa Barbara. And she had found out that there was a beer festival happening that weekend, that we were going to be up there. And she got me a ticket while she was doing like an interview or something up there.
Okay.
And it was my first beer festival.
Yeah.
And, I think it was, clearly I'm in Santa Barbara, not one of the most diverse cities on the planet.
Yeah.
And it just hit me like a ton of bricks that like I was the only brother. I take that back. There was one other brother in the entire festival.
Wow.
And it was just like, it just was like a Matrix moment where I was like, something's wrong, but I can't really identify what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I called Benny, and I'm like, I kind of explained to her what my experience was. And I'm like, man, it's like this in tap rooms and at breweries as well.
Yeah.
And she was like, yo, just record it. Just talk to people and record yourself, And I think this is like year 1 Instagram, I think. Maybe year 2 Instagram. So I just started taking all these videos. And when I came back, I showed her. She was like, bro, we gotta we could do something with this.
Yeah.
Did you know these people? They're just talking to
Mm-hmm.
you like y'all are homies. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's pretty much the industry. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
And in one day, we created a brand called Black People Love Beer.
Okay.
And it was just a kind of a revelation for us to, one, not be very coy
Yeah.
about what we wanted to talk about, which was the fact that there was a clear disparity in beer of people of color, but the people of color were there.
Yeah.
That they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we did that, bro, it was like, I call it the lighthouse effect.
Yeah.
It was everyone knew what we were talking about. We were very clear that we wanted to lean into this idea of Black people in craft beer.
Yeah.
And that just kind of like, the community just built so fast after that. And we ran with that. We ran with that for like about a year and a half. And then we created a brand called Dope and Dank, which
Okay.
is bridging the dope world,
Yeah.
the world of dope culture with the dank world of craft beer.
Yeah. It's a
And
great name too.
it it was great until we got a cease and
Oh,
desist
fuck.
from these two white kids in Beverly Hills that go
Oh,
around
geez.
suing people globally because
Wow.
they own the word dope.
Jeez.
And literally, their clothing brand was what it was. I don't know if it's even around, but they essentially just had a legal team that would just go around suing people if they, incorporated the word
Wow.
dope.
Jeez.
I'm talking about people in hip hop, people in clothing.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it's crazy as hell. But it
Yeah.
was the biggest lesson that we ever received on Black culture was being sold.
Mm-hmm.
And the culture, Black people of color were not the ones owning it.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were like, whoa. We were like, this is a huge lesson in IP and intellectual property
Yeah.
that we didn't realize until that moment. So shortly thereafter, when we decided that we wanted to launch the brand, we ended up having to change it from Dope and Dank to what you see now today, Crowns and Hops Brewing Company.
I love it. Man, and it's crazy. It's like, even going back to what you're saying about going to a beer fest, and being one of the only people of color there, right? Like, I mean, because I'm sure people knew, like there's like maybe, but nobody really explored it until you did, I feel like.
Yeah, it's probably true. I think there were a lot of people that felt that if they had a background that was different than the obvious
Yeah.
culture, which is white culture, that the assumption was that we had to assimilate to the culture that was the dominant culture in the community.
Yeah.
And, it's a muscle that I have always despised. I think it's something that people of color often feel when they are, interviewing, when they're working at a company that maybe
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a lot of culture, or they have to kind of assimilate to the culture of the company. I mean, that's why they have that concept of corporate culture.
Yeah.
It's almost cold for saying, if you don't act white, or if
Yeah.
you act anything like what your actual culture is, like you're going to be ostracized or
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to have a job. And that feeling was just it's so damaging to what I think is important for all people, which is that they
Yeah.
should be able to feel their authentic selves, no matter what they are. That is
Yeah. If you can't be you, then what's the point?
exactly. So I just saw it. It was so rampant in beer at that time that I was like, bro, I'm like, I am not, I might, be articulate, I might, have points of reference that, maybe some brothers and sisters don't have, but I am Black. I am blackety black, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to be anything less than who I am in this community. And I think it was very important for Benny and I, very specifically. Her background was in advertising and creative
Mm-hmm.
for brands like Beats by Dre, who
Okay.
have a track record for representing culture, representing Black culture, athletes, entertainers, you name it, and really exalting them to be their most authentic selves. So really it just became a mantra, a mission for us to ensure that people saw us as who we were authentically
Yeah.
in this thing that we were building. That's why Benny and I have always been so front and center with our brand. We want it for people to see that we are always going to be who we are.
That's
Who you
great.
see on IG and TikTok
Yeah.
and YouTube is exactly who you see when you come to this tap room.
Yeah.
The exact same. And if I would hope that someone would be like, bro,
Yeah.
like you ain't who I thought you were. But thank God that hasn't been the case so far.
That's great, man. So, I mean, and even after that, so you guys create the brand. Where'd you go from there? Like to actually open up a tap room? I mean, all the other stuff that went along with it.
Oh man, that's how much time do we got?
Oh, we got all the time in the world, brother. We got all the time in the world.
It's been a journey. I would say that clearly influencing, having a lifestyle brand, doing all the things that you do on social media is night and day from actually owning a beer business.
I bet. Yeah.
It is completely. It is a different experience. It takes a different skill set that we have had to learn. Um, and, I would say in addition to that, there is this idea of the beer business that I think has also been detrimental to the industry as well. It's a concept that really isn't sustainable, where I think you see a lot of breweries right now that are paying the price for
Mm-hmm.
essentially adopting this idea that they should not be efficient, that they shouldn't have high margins, that they should try and brew as many different recipes and
Mm-hmm.
beers as humanly possible, just to keep up with trend,
Yeah.
But the reality is that is also the cheat code to a failing business,
Yeah.
is if you are not constantly looking for efficiencies, if you are not constantly evaluating your books and partnering with chief financial officers that can help guide you in a way that ultimately becomes sustainable and
Mm-hmm.
scalable. I mean, shit, if anybody's listening to this now and wants to start a brewing company, I say you better call your homie, your nerd
Yeah.
homie
Yeah.
that is a mathematical whiz or
Yeah.
that is a certified CPA, and bring him on to your team.
Yeah.
Period. I don't give a shit how creative or how great of a brewer you are or you think you are. If you do not have those numbers, like forwards and backwards, like it will be your demise. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit how great your liquid is. And, these were a lot of lessons that we learned. We were flying the plane as we were building it. So as we kind of came from this appreciation influencer place, very quickly we were able to garner the confidence and the capital, to launch our beer brand. The problem is we just did it in a way that wasn't sustainable.
Mm.
I think, we had people on our team that were not beverage industry experts. We weren't experts, to be straight up,
Mm-hmm.
but we had brand power, we had community, we had distribution, we had many things on our side that pointed in every direction of us being successful. So, we signed a lease on a spot that was in line with what every successful brewery
Yeah.
said that we should do, which is, invest now for what you are not going to be able to afford tomorrow.
Mm.
And we heard that from breweries all over the country, over the pond even,
Wow.
get the space, get the space, get the space.
Mm-hmm.
And, we locked in on the space in 2020, ironically during the pandemic,
Yeah.
where we believed that we got a great deal, had a great landlord at that time. And the economy did not bounce back like everybody thought it would.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the beverage industry, specifically in beer, for the first time started to trend down.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, hospitality just could not get any investment in development. I mean, it dried up so quick, bro. It was
I
it
bet.
was we got whiplash from how quickly
Mm-hmm.
things turned so quickly. Everything that we had forecasted, everything that we had planned came as a result of contemplating with so many experts who
Yeah.
quite honestly did not see 2022 and 2023 coming. And we're
Yeah.
still in it.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in it. Any brewery that you see right now that's successful likely has they're over their skis.
Yeah.
They don't owe a lot of debt, and they have a incredible either self distribution or taproom model that is able to sustain all of the ups and downs of this industry. And we essentially planned almost for a year plus for us to do everything that we needed to open that tap room. And unfortunately, it took us almost 2 years
Wow.
to get the permits that we needed. And we ultimately had to start paying on rent on a space that we couldn't make a dime in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it just, it was a perfect storm, and we ended up losing that property while also scaling our business, in wholesale. So, the business was growing, throughout the state of California, but we still couldn't capitalize on what it meant to sell directly to our consumer,
Yeah.
so that, the difference between the margin that you make, in a case of beer versus a pint you could pour in a glass
Oh,
is
yeah.
night and day.
Wow. And it's crazy because I mean, what COVID did like to the industry, because I know like can sales, a whole lot of for some places can sales went through the roof like
Mhm.
during that time, but like still like the stigma that was around a brewery that the government felt like oh, it's like a bar. It's not a bar, like and so how long did they take for like them to even allow tap rooms open, but they were allowing bars to be open or restaurants.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
It was again, to your point, like
yeah,
can sales are crazy,
yeah,
and you receive the benefit of that
yeah,
if you were selling directly to customers,
yeah.
if you had a place
Because now
or
you're distributing, and yeah, you're gonna have to pay that guy too.
yeah. So for us, we were always in distribution. We never had a tap room. We never
Mhm.
had a direct to sales or a direct to customer model.
Yeah.
So that's where I think, again, you are starting to see the how should I say, the not necessarily the blowback, but you're
Mhm.
starting to see the ultimate impact
Yeah.
of what it meant for brands to be solely dependent on a distributor model, and that's not to throw stones at distributors. I'm sure every
Yeah,
brewery
of
on
course.
the planet has, some shit that they want to talk about their distributor.
Yeah.
But the reality is the model doesn't completely benefit the supplier.
Mhm.
And what we are seeing now as the industry starts to constrict, as it relates to non-alc growing, month over month,
Mhm.
and the cold box getting smaller and smaller for alcohol brands, for beer brands, as you see there being less support for local and independent craft breweries, as you start seeing the format the variable factor of formats changing all the time,
Mhm.
depending on how a retailer will choose to have their planogram look and feel. Like, a small independent brewer can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
If they can't keep up with keeping beer in tank
Mm.
and also having the responsibility of understanding the size of those batches they need to
Oh,
put in
yeah.
tank in order to take care of the tap room and also take care of these POs from the distributors that just go all over the place, up and down, depending
Mhm.
on what how the industry is constricting or expanding at the moment. So it is an interesting
Oh, yeah.
industry that we're in right now. But we're grateful to have this opportunity at Creature Comforts downtown LA right now,
Yeah.
which allows us to finally showcase to the community what dope shit and craft beer actually looks and feels like. To kind of
Yeah,
turn a
yeah.
page to
Yeah,
some
no, no,
positive shit
yeah,
for a
I was
moment.
gonna say, is be careful with that dope thing. I'm just kidding.
So here's a fun fact on that. They came after us on the word dope for our company name. And when our attorney looked, I mean, like we spent a lot of bread on fighting it.
Oh, I bet.
But the one thing that they did not own dope in was
Beer.
beer.
Love it.
It was literally the only thing they hadn't placed trademark. So guess who has dope?
There it is.
So hence the Dopest Hazy IPA.
I love it.
It was kind of our not the culture, but also our commitment to making sure that we are just as much stewards of Black and brown culture as we are, really showcasing how it can exist in craft beer.
Love that, man.
Dopest Hazy IPA, bro.
Fucking right. And I'm about to finish this bad boy.
Yeah, we got to re you up in a minute. By hour 2, man, we gonna be fading.
Damn right. Should we go grab another one?
Yeah, hell yeah,
All right,
bro.
let's do it.
Pause it.
All right, and we're back.
Bro, this podcast is about to get lit now.
Yeah.
We like a whole nother beer in. We done stepped outside to get a new beer, ran into the homie Rob Scott from LA Works.
Fucking love that guy.
Formerly of State Brewing Company. If anybody truly fucks with LA craft beer, you know exactly what State was and what they were doing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steven.
I'm trying to remember the episode Rob was on. It was a while. It was probably about a year ago, actually.
Rob will get geeky as fuck on you real quick.
Oh man, it was great. Like, and we talked about, like, he was just like, he's like, I'm just skating. I'm at home because during COVID, like playing video games, and then end up becoming a phenomenal brewer.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so good.
He's excellent. Like it's funny to see all of the. So I want to set the record straight on something, and this is I think what a lot of people assume. I am not a brewer.
Oh, okay.
I am not a brewer. I actually, ironically, my first brewing industry job was at LA Works.
Oh shit!
Shout out to Kip Barnes and Andrew Fowler. When I decided to take the beer industry and brewing more seriously, it was a product of our Instagram and our social media growing so fast that I wanted to know what I was talking about. Like it was like people were challenging me.
You wanted to educate yourself on that side of it. Yeah.
That and I was really curious, but I also had never homebrewed before. And I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna learn to like talk about this, to understand it, to be critical about it if I've never done any of the things that anybody did? So I literally, I mean, and it's funny. My journey, I think I used to be embarrassed by, because it was unlike a lot of the brewery owners who started with home brewing in their kitchen, in their dorm room, in their garage and stuff. And yet Benny and I built this brand that almost had the same gravity and the same gravitas, rather, as a lot of these brands. So I literally quit my job.
Fucking love it.
And started as a cellar person at LA Works.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to brew. I'm gonna learn how to, bro, I didn't do shit but clean shit all fucking day.
Glorified janitor.
Like, brother. Bro, I was like, what? I was like, what is it? I stayed by that sink, but the level of respect that I gained for brewers and the act of brewing and the precision that comes with being a curator of liquid came out of that experience. Kip Barnes was one of the most influential people to me, because he took that homebrewing experience with LA Works, you know, from what he did with the Maltose Falcon, shout out to the homie Drew and their whole team, and scaled it into LA Works.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, like SS Brewtech wasn't doing commercial systems. There were like 3. There was LA Works, there was Trillium, and I think there was some other place that had this, like, I called it the Incredible Hulk, because it was like
that scale,
it was like this little homebrew kit that got scaled up to a commercial kit. But he took that and he almost became one of the case studies for how SS Brewtech would have ultimately start scaling up their systems.
Yeah.
And I was able to not only watch that, I was able to clean it, but I was also able to see a brewery get built from the ground up.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to see them put tanks in place for the first time. I was able to, you know, see one of my really great friends, Mr. John Carpenter, who built Angel City. He helped out with Golden Road. I mean, breweries all over the country.
Wow.
I got to see him at work and helping brewery owners and brewers take ownership of their institutions. Like, that whole process was, I mean, it was baptism by fire.
Yeah, I love that though.
But it also taught me something, Mike. It taught me that I did not want to be the brewer on a brew house. I knew through the process that I had a pretty excellent palate. that I could understand recipe design, that I can understand, off flavors. I got to really explore what it meant to truly evaluate and design beer. But I realized that my best skill set was for being an advocate, for
Yeah.
being an
Promoting.
organizer,
Yeah.
for being an owner, taking my background in creative and art and pre-press and utilizing that to help build a brand. Like that's where my superpower was,
I love that, man.
is. And that's where Benny is. And I think what that does is it dispels the idea that the only people that can be successful in the beer business are homebrewers.
Yeah.
And again, that's not to throw shade or to throw
Of course
stones.
not.
I have so much respect I have too much respect
Yeah.
for brewers and people that go that path to try in an expedited time frame to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
No,
100%.
there are so many incredible brewers that we have been able to collaborate with that I am happy to hire and to contract through to talk and contemplate recipe design. And that's how we're able to make some of the most fantastic beers and offer it at a high level in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. Dude, and what I love that about, like what you're saying, like, because I love it when it's not like the traditional story.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times that, like I said, not to discredit any of that. Like, that's great because I love it because people are willing to make the sacrifices and want more in life and want to do something that, like, even though they might have a great job before, right? But they still like, this is what I want to be in and this is what I want to do. And I'm going to go after it no matter what.
Yep.
So I love it when it's different. When I started this show, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, I wasn't like, I reviewed beer with my brother on the show before.
Yeah.
We talked about it off air.
Yep.
That's all I did. I didn't know what was what. I remember one time, the first time my brother ever, because my brother was the craft beer connoisseur, I drank it, but I didn't know like the nuances or anything like that. But I remember one time he gave me, it was like a brewed IPA. I was like, man, this is like champagne-y.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't heard that style in so long.
Yeah.
That shit lasted for like 2 seconds, but it's still here.
I love
They're
brewed
fucking
IPAs.
amazing, bro.
They're so good.
Man.
And then my brother's like, oh, wait, good job, Mike. Like you actually knew something. And I was like, yeah, thanks. But I mean, after like even starting the show, I felt like, not like a poser, but I felt like, when I was just started, because I had to take this on my own, just interviewing people. But then like you said, your palate develops and then you start to realize that certain things. And like, as I said, this is one of the greatest industries in the world. Of course, there's some, a couple bad apples out there.
It's a gang of bad apples.
Yeah.
Fuck them bad apples. I'll say it straight up.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm sure, all the challenges you faced, what were those? What was that like for you?
Man, I mean, well, one, hopefully you can taste the influence.
Well, this LA Sun is fire, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to talk about, the good before the bad.
Yeah.
But like one of my biggest influences in this industry, hands down, has been Bob Kuntz and the Highland Park Brewery family.
They're so great.
They're incredible. And ideally, when you taste this beer, you can taste the influence. It's hop forward, simple 2-row grain bill, not much of additional complexity to the grain bill for the purpose of allowing for the hops to shine. We have Crush, formerly 586, which I know a lot of people are like, it's in everything. It's a fucking great hop.
It's fucking great.
It's a great hop. And we also have Vista. So you're getting like this really beautiful piney resin that isn't extremely overt because it balances with this tropical, almost this lychee, kind of component.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to put my nose in it for a little bit.
Yeah, got to dive on in.
Mm-hmm.
I would have said earlier, jump on in. Water's fine.
Yeah, no, it's
delicious. Man.
To me, that this is the West Coast, and it's funny. A correction that we had to do to our West Coast IPAs was done in combination of realizing that when we first introduced our West Coast IPAs, we used to have an IPA called Elevated Cipher, which was a great name. It was like,
I love that
everything
name.
was intended to be a little.
There was a hiccup there.
Yeah. Slow down, brother. But what I realized that I was doing is I was designing beer recipes to speak to the masses or what I thought the masses wanted
Yeah.
versus what I wanted to drink. So there was a point in time where I was like reaching past my elevated cipher
Yeah.
to like get a Timbo or to get like a Hello LA or to get
Yeah.
a Mayberry or like, it was, and then it just hit me one day when there were no more of the other beers and I just had my own. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is embarrassing. I'm like, this is embarrassing, man. I was like, what am I doing? So I scrapped every single one of our West Coast IPA recipes
Wow.
and, hit the homies up. I hit
Yeah.
up Rob Coxwell at El Segundo. I hit up Bob at Highland. I even touched base with Natalie and Vinny, at Russian River.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one is it's embarrassingly awesome to be able to have these people's numbers in my phone
That's
like,
fucking, yeah.
to go from like a craft beer
Yeah.
geek, who was like posting pictures of
I'd be
these
I'd be
beers.
fanboying out, bro. Bro,
Bro,
I'd be
it took me the first 2 or 3 times to realize, okay, I'm actually talking to
yeah.
Vinny.
I think we might be friends.
Yeah, yeah, they might still see me as a fanboy, but I mean, at the end of the day, there was a point where I realized they all wanted Benny and I to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's that beautiful part of the industry is
Yeah.
when one we ultimately have a responsibility to make sure that the community gets the best representation of
Yeah.
this liquid. And when they realize that one, you're influential, a lot of them realize that Benny and I not only have the opportunity of educating and bringing more people to Crowns and Hops, but also more people to the industry in general. Once that light turned on for people, they were like, "Oh shit! Like we need to make sure that they don't fail."
Yeah.
And I'll always be grateful for the community that always not only inspired us and influenced us, but also helped us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so shout out to Bob, shout out to Tiffany,
There it is.
shout out to the El Segundo crew. Also, El Segundo Brewing Company was the first collaboration that we ever did
Oh, love that.
with Dope and Dank.
There it is. Should have got Stone Cold in there.
Uh, Now by the way, I know I got to hit up Rob. I was
Yeah.
like, every time I see him, I'm like, we got to throw it back in tank. But we call that beer "Gotta Get It."
I love it.
Do you know the reference? Do you get it?
Gotta get it.
I gotta get it. I got to get it.
Oh, the fuck.
Do
I'm trying to think because I know the song. Yeah. There it is.
I left my wallet in El Segundo.
There
I
it is.
gotta get it. I got to get it.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was kind of a Hail Mary reference that we
That's
gave there.
fucking
We
great.
didn't want to be too obvious with it.
That's fucking
But
great though.
but yeah, man, lots of incredible influences to Crowns and Hops. And one again, I'll give a shout out to my partner Benny. I think she also represents something that is very unique in craft beer that rarely gets shine, which is the curator of the experience, the
Mm-hmm.
curator of what people see, what people get from an experiential standpoint. A lot of that, I mean, here's the thing, like you can make great liquid, but if no
Mm-hmm.
one sees it, if
Oh,
no one hears
100%.
about it, or if no one, once they actually come to the tap room to have it, wants to stay there,
Yeah.
then like you're missing an
Yeah.
opportunity on how to be sustainable. So, Benny definitely dedicates her time and her focus on what it means to ensure that people see, find, and enjoy the liquid, or rather, experience the liquid as much as they taste it and drink it. So shout out to Benny Ashburn, my partner.
Shout out Benny. No, I love that, man. Because I know it's like, we talked about like, the good people, but I mean, I know you've had some tough times too. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's I think it is I think people see it as a difficult thing to talk about their bad experiences.
Yeah.
And especially in this industry, this industry has this air of being so kumbaya
Yeah.
so much of the time. And during a time where people are struggling is when the predators come out,
Yeah.
straight up.
You find out who your friends are too.
But beyond friends,
Yeah.
that there are people, everybody's hungry out there. Predators are different.
Yeah.
Predators intentionally wait on the hungry,
Mm-hmm.
and Benny and I had a pretty hard time coming throughout 2023, and really, with, and by the way, I should have shouted them out, and it's a bummer that things are going the way they are with Three Weavers right now. But shout out to Lynn Weaver, Alex Noel, who was the head of brewing there, Chris Gonzalez. We brewed our beer there for almost 2 years
Oh, wow.
at Three Weavers, but a lot of things shifted for them. And we literally had to find a new home at a time where we didn't have a lot of capital. And we ended up reaching out to someone in the black beer community in Full Circle Brewing Company
Oh, okay.
in the Central Coast.
Yeah.
And, they have a gentleman that, ultimately had claimed, in Arthur Moye, had claimed that, he was a very proficient in accounting, very proficient in the business practices that would ultimately allow us to realize the impact that Crowns and Hops could actually have
Mm-hmm.
if they had someone with his skill set and his ability to produce, at their facility. So we trusted that this person not only represented the craft beer community, but also represented the black community,
Yeah.
in a way that wanted to see the mutual success happen. And, it took, about 6 months for us to realize that this man decided to use our disadvantage as an advantage for himself.
Wow.
And, it was a terrible experience because, when you let someone under the hood,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you are, so that you could get help,
Yeah.
you are literally, vulnerable, and
Yeah, because you're exposing everything.
you're exposing everything. And it's a terrible feeling when someone weaponizes that
Yeah.
and puts you in a position to where you can't even help yourself. You can't
Wow.
even help your family. You
Yeah.
you can't you can't you can't even help those that have built a line of trust and ultimately have put their bet on you,
Of
whether it be
course.
people that invested in us, whether it be, to take all of that and to weaponize it in a way that that could mean the end of your company, the end of the way you make a living for yourself, was one of the most diabolical things that we had ever experienced.
Wow.
And as we would learn more, it wasn't the first time that this has happened. So I think one of the biggest things that I want to make clear is that people need to be careful of who they expose themselves to,
Yeah.
have NDA signed,
Mm-hmm.
ensure that you protect yourselves, because there are predators out here that are waiting, and that are studying on how to not only take advantage of, but own you,
Yeah.
and take everything that you've built and worked for to not only possibly own you, and if they can't own you, they'll try and destroy you.
Yeah.
And before Benny and I allowed that to happen, we chose to bite the bullet. And I mean, we didn't have beer producing in the world for almost 2 months.
Wow.
And with anybody that truly understands how sensitive how distribution is, it took a toll. We lost accounts, we lost, Cosm, which,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That's
that's
huge right now. Yeah.
it's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And we couldn't give them beer. They were like, give us the beer, and we had
Yeah.
nothing.
Fuck.
We almost lost a lot of other critical accounts, and those accounts don't care about what you went through. They
Yeah.
care
They
the
just
fact.
want your product. Yeah.
Exactly. So, we're still recovering, from that experience,
That
but
fucking sucks, man.
it does, but we're excited. about what we're going to be able to do in the future. We're about to do a brand refresh. We've solidified our strength in some of our other key accounts, our retail accounts, our enterprise accounts, and we're back out there, off
Fucking
to the
right.
races.
Yeah.
You know,
Can't nobody hold me down.
cheers to that.
Cheers to that. There you go. Twinkle, twinkle, baby.
That sounded good. Twinkle, twinkle. What the
Yeah.
hell is that? Twinkle,
That's from
twinkle.
Remember Be Cool with Vince Vaughn. He's like, come on, man. He's like, quit hating, start participating, player. He's like, twinkle, twinkle,
That's
baby.
hilarious. I might have to get you another LA Sun, bro. This is fire, right?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It it's funny you brought up the Brute IPA because
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot that was the name.
Yeah.
It went from Brute IPA, and then did it go right to Cold IPA, or was there something in between? I feel like there was
Yeah,
something
I
in
mean, I feel
between.
like it was kind of like an amalgamation, I feel like, of the two.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean, it was Brute IPA, then Italian Pilsners
yeah,
kind of floated in there, and
yeah.
I feel like it's been muddled ever since.
Oh yeah. And even like because when I did the collab with Dario at Burn and Daylight over in Lomita, like we didn't put it
Those are
up.
the homies right there.
Oh, dude, they're fucking
Yeah,
great. I
yeah.
freaking love Dario. Like he's like honestly, he's like I'm this industry. Like, yeah, there's some people like I never hear from again or whatever, but there's ones where I've met them and we've made a connection and we'll go get beers every once in a while. Like I hang out with him and his kids
Mm,
and stuff like that. And that's the best part of that part, right?
yeah.
And then, when you can find people that are like, like I said, most of them are genuinely great people, but then there's, like I said, a couple of you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like when we did that one, we called it Brutes of Our Labor.
Brutes of our lip.
Yeah, my brother came up with a name and did the can artwork. I'll show you
That's
after. It
great.
came out
That's great.
legit.
Brutes of our labor.
Yeah, but I was able to
Sounds like
do.
a soap opera.
Oh, dude, I did the brew day that day. And I was like, I was like, my shoulders are burning because I was, mashing in
Yeah.
because there's no rakes. But man, it was it was a long day.
Bro, a lot of people don't know this too. Our first beer came out of Eagle Rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna mention that earlier and I forgot because I talked to, gosh, what was his name he used to be at Brewery Yard. I don't know if he's still there. I can't remember he was one of the brewers. I talked to him when I was there. This is early on. This is like
Yeah.
episode like maybe 4 or 5, maybe.
Okay.
And then in the tap room. But they mentioned that
Sherwin or
I'd have to look it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he mentioned that you guys were because contract brewed at Eagle Rock, right?
2 batches.
Yeah.
So literally the first batch of BPLB, which was an ode to our
Mhm.
first Instagram handle, Black People Love Beer,
Yeah.
that came out of Eagle Rock, January 2020.
Okay.
Our second batch went in tank February 2020
Yeah.
and never saw the light of day.
Oh shit. What happened?
The world shut down.
Oh, that's true.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID.
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first time we were going to put draft into the world.
Wow.
And yeah, that beer we lost that entire batch, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was painful.
Damn.
But shout out to Eagle Rock. Shout out to Jeremy and team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got through doing the co-hosting responsibilities for the Battle of the Band.
There you go.
Shout out to the Homebrew Cambria. That was a great experience, bro.
Yeah, it was sad when I heard about Eagle Rock.
Man.
It was like, damn. It was like,
Who would you say were the biggest, like, so there hasn't been a bunch, but who's been kind of like the ones that have gone that you're just like, fuck, like.
so, I mean, obviously, Eagle Rock, one of them, like, it's not in LA County, but it was one that I used to, like, I started going to and like, I mean, it was, because, I mean, I'm going to breweries for a long time, but one of them was Lost Winds down in, now it's Judge Brewery, they make great beer, and Brandon's still the brewer, the head brewer there, which is great. But it was just like when like Lost Winds was like it was surf culture, and I grew up around surf culture, family from Hawaii and stuff like that. And then obviously like my stepdad was a big surfer. So when I heard that one was closing down, I was like, fuck, kind of thing. And but there's just so many now. I'm like,
right. I think like Eagle Rock was Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Before that though, Mumford.
Oh yeah.
Like that was like a shock because I was just like, like, I mean, people could say, especially in LA, if you fuck with real LA craft beer, like Peter Mumford was one of the first dudes that really in tandem with Monkish, that kind of really launched the hazy IPA into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, you know, Highland Park started doing it, and like there was just a few that
Yeah.
to where those can lines, bro.
Oh yeah, and it fell suit. And then at one point during like the haze, I call it the haze craze, like there was like 10 different hazies on menus. It's like, and don't get me wrong, I do love a good hazy when
Yeah.
it's done right. It's it's so good. I just don't like the super thicker ones,
Yeah.
like where it's like fuck, I can only have 2 of these, and I'm like kind of full already.
Bro, so that was one of the things I think in recipe design that
Yeah.
I was very particular about.
Yeah.
I'll be, I'm 49 this year, bro. So
Hey, dude, you don't look it.
I'm a wise man,
Yeah.
and I got these locks going right now. I'm about to start looking like the sea snake in this bitch. But like one of the things that was very tough for me was drinking these hot burn, like soupy hazies. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. I'm like, bro, I can't get through a glass.
I
I
don't
can't
want
get through
it.
a
Yeah.
pint. And I realized that I've always been sensitive to it, but I truly had to investigate. Like when at first I thought, especially when some of the breweries that I had loved were doing them, I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you choose this?
Yeah.
And clearly there are a number of reasons that
Yeah.
people choose to do that. But once I realized that you could build a recipe and develop a process that would avoid that hot burn and that excessive, that excessive filling of non-digestible liquid,
Yeah.
we started to dedicate ourselves to it. And it wasn't an easy process. One of the biggest things was we were sacrificing haze.
Yeah.
Overall, like straight up haze, because of the yeast character that was still in the beer, or the dry hopping process was not done properly. And or the alpha acids and the hops that were used in order to dry hop allowed for there to be certain attributes that just weren't very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So we really started to just develop a recipe. And clearly when you have to change production breweries, it's like giving John Coltrane a different sax.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sheet music might be the same,
Yeah.
but you give him a different instrument, then
Yeah.
he's going to have to figure it out, and understand, like, okay, what should this music sound like out of this instrument? So, that is a very sensitive process to undergo, as well as ensuring that the recipe as designed is executed on different types of equipment.
Yeah.
So it is a process, but I'm excited for you to try the Dopest today so that you can understand what we believe we've achieved with our hazy IPA.
Yeah, we'll have to go right now. But I'll tell you. Oh shit! I lost my train of thought there.
I think you're handsome too. Thank you.
Well, there it is. Woo! Fuck no,
bro, you're from Hawaii?
Oh no, so my grandma's from there.
Is she like native Hawaiian?
Yeah, so they came over from like either I think it was China, like, and moved to the island, but she was there like during Pearl Harbor.
Bro, what's your background?
Native. Oh, so when we did like the 23andMe thing, it was mostly Native American, Chinese because of that side. We're going to Hawaii and all that. Spanish from one of my dad's side, and then it's like, it's Native American, Spanish, Chinese, Portuguese, and then something else.
Bro, you're like the original human up in this bitch, man.
Yeah, but
I feel like if you do some locks or something, you would literally look like 10,000 BC up in this.
Oh,
bitch.
dude, when I was younger, I had. Well, I mean, not younger. I mean, I was younger, but I had a couple times where I had like my hair, long hair, and I would go surf because I was just got to whip that bitch. That's gonna sound bad, but I'm talking about my hair, so everybody chill in the comments. Had to whip my hair back while I was, doing the thing. So, you get out of the water. Maybe a girl's looking, maybe she's not looking, and I whip my hair around, maybe.
You did that shit. Well done. Well done, Mike.
No, but damn it, I had one I was going to ask you, and it'll come to me.
Yeah, it'll come after you get this Dopest Hazy.
Oh, yeah.
Or it'll just disappear into the ether.
It could.
Of podcast questions that never got asked.
No, so one of the things I love about this is like, because I can send talking points or I can do all that stuff, but when I can talk to someone like you, and you make it easy because you're able to, like, you're willing to talk, and you're willing to, like, say what's on your mind and say what's in your heart. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you, but I can't. It's actually something I can't say on air because it's something I'm working on the other side. But
Get ready,
yeah,
Taproom Podcast family.
yeah, I want you included in it so bad. But yeah, we'll talk
Down, bro.
We'll go grab that beer and we'll talk about it a little bit.
Let's do it.
And we're back.
Bro, let's go.
Got this hazy.
The Dopest Hazy.
The Dopest Hazy.
Yes, sir.
Dude, that thing looks immaculate.
We'll taste it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we did the job with your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that shit is money right now.
Yeah.
That shit is money.
Yeah.
So if you
nailed it.
If you pay attention to the Dopest Hazy IPA, to all the points we were saying before, I was tired of struggling through a style of beer that also brought me a lot of joy initially.
Yeah.
The yeast that was still being left in the beer, the high alpha acid hops that were being utilized during the dry hop process, which for a lot of brewers that already know, cryo definitely helps that reduction of hop burn. I was like, man, there's got to be a different way we can achieve something that fills and addresses a true to style component, but also eliminates those things that makes it less drinkable. So we consider this a very balanced hazy IPA.
It really is.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We brew with Eldorado, Citra, and Mosaic.
There it is.
So, I think Eldorado gives us some of those tangerine kind of citrusy notes that aren't extremely bitter. They aren't overtly bitter. You're going to get some of the, Citra is a fucking cheat code for all hazy IPAs in the game. If you're striving for that juice character, Citra is that.
Yeah.
And we wanted to give it that, that punch of hop dankness, which you're getting on your palate still. That's the dankness that you get on your palate, but it drops off fairly quickly. And that's by design. This was not an easy recipe to nail. Again, we had to, even in this iteration of it, V3 was the recipe that we finally were like, yes, this is it.
Yeah.
But, and shout out to the homies at Cloud Water across the sea, over in Manchester. We were able to contemplate, recipe design a little bit with them as well. But, it really was important for us to achieve visually what you would hope to get in a hazy IPA as much as you would with the mouthfeel and with the hop profile. We think that this is almost West Coast leaning based off of,
I can see that,
still the presence of the hop in the beer without losing it in oats and wheat.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy too? It's like, and I love that kind of, like the example you use right there, because sometimes like people I would say find your beer, but like sometimes a lot of times the hazy is like a gateway, for people. But then when you can kind of see it develop, like my uncle loves hazies. That's all he'll ever really drink. But every once in a while I'll come over because I don't keep beer in my house because I know I'm going to drink it all the time.
Sure.
So I'll keep it at his house when I have it. And then it gives me a reason to go
hey,
over.
Babe, I'm going to my aunt's. He's a little down, he needs a hug, just got to spend some time with family,
Yeah, so I would go over there, and then one day I caught him drinking a West Coast. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what? He's actually pretty good.
Boy, look at that lacing. This shit is.
Oh no, yeah,
this shit is drinking good right now. I'm really proud of this version.
Yeah.
Hey,
there we go.
Yeah, and I just wanted to be crushable, man. I think it's just as important to design a beer that people don't have to second guess why they are drinking the beer. There's nothing worse than spending $10 on a pint and then getting halfway through the beer and being like, I don't want to finish this shit.
Yeah.
And that is so I gotta share and I'm sure I'm gonna fuck it up, but I'm gonna do my best, Mike.
You got
the homies Colin and Shane at Hen House hit me to a philosophy that has stuck with me to this day. And it's kind of a rant that I'll just kind of give you the footnote version on it.
Whatever you want to do, brother.
But he started it with talking about that people in this country trade their time for money. They go to work every day, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day to get money. And that trade, that exchange is something that they can never get back. They can never get back their time. They can never get back that exchange that they could have given that time to their family. They could have given it to their friends. And in turn, they did it so that they can get some money so that they can either pay for things that they need or pay for things that they want. And when they come to your brewery, you are ultimately taking that currency, you're taking that capital based off of an exchange that they can never get a return on unless you give them something of value. So as brewery owners, as brewers, it is our responsibility to ensure that when they engage in that exchange, that we are giving something to them that honors that thing that they sacrificed. And if you don't, if you refuse to pay attention to detail, if you refuse to design recipes that are going to be something that someone can enjoy, something that is resilient, something that is shelf stable, if you refuse to do that, then you are morally bankrupt.
I love that.
And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, bro, I was like, and that sticks with me. It's
I love that though.
There are many brewers, whether or not they try and recite that or whether or not they live by a specific code. There are many brewers and brewery owners that prescribe to the integrity that should be given. That was something that was lost when we brewed with Full Circle. They did not have that same sense of integrity over liquid. They didn't value that exchange, which was one of the reasons why we had to pull the plug on that particular relationship. And we had to ensure that any partner that we had was just as dedicated to that exchange of protecting and honoring, more importantly, people that give something up in order to get something of value. And hopefully that's what we're giving you with the Dopest Hazy IPA.
No, it's great. And one of the things I love that, like, you saying that is because to me, like I was talking to Ian, I don't know, I think it was in January.
Ism?
Yeah.
That's the homie. What up, Ian?
I fucking love Ian. Like I was like, I always tell him because he's such a tall guy. I was like, let the little bear get his paws on you because I'm such a short guy compared to him. But we talked about trust and building trust with the community and knowing that, like, if somebody comes that's never had, like, well, maybe never had their beer before, they come there, they try something, and they have a recommendation, especially from a beer tender. We talked about beer education earlier. Like when you have that and you can build that trust with the consumer, that's like that goes tenfold because they're gonna not only come back, but they're going to tell their friends like, hey, I'm not really even into this, but I went there. They gave me this thing and it was so good. We got to go back. The vibes are great. They have all this stuff. I have to go back there.
Sure.
And I love that part of it. And that's why I feel like beer education is so important. That's why I think it's so fucking cool that you went to do the Cellarman thing. Like you were like, fuck it. I need to put in the work to be able to do this. And like when you have that drive and you have that, there's that thing inside you when you're just like, no, like I need to know more. I need to learn more, and I want to continue to grow. Because a lot of brewers out there, like, and I said, there's a lot of them out there that are like that. They want to. Yeah, I say it I quote Shawshank all the time. So sorry in the comments. Get mad at me if you want, but get busy living or get busy dying. Freaking Morgan Freeman in freaking Shawshank.
I will tell you though, there's a balance, and
100%.
I think that's where Benny and I have been able to create something special with our brand. I'm almost to a fault the hypercritical liquid producer / curator. She often has to like like
Wrangle
shake
you
me.
back in.
Yeah, and be like, bro, like, we also have to do X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and there is that balance. And again,
Mm-hmm.
I got to reiterate this again for anybody that thinks that they can discount the impact of having a a proper financial education as
Mm-hmm.
much as a beer education,
Yeah.
they are not in the business of beer.
Yeah.
They're just a fan of beer.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a connoisseur of beer. They are two different things.
Yeah.
And that's something it's difficult for people to sometimes wrap their heads around,
Yeah.
which is the business of beer. And many people are paying the price of it, for not being prepared in those certain areas now. So again, all those people looking to start,
Yeah.
I'm not going to discuss. Would you believe someone told me like at the beginning of this, even like when I was a cellar person, that I should just give it up. I shouldn't even think about owning a
Yeah.
brewing company. That's when I think there was about 6,000 breweries in the country.
Yeah.
There's about 10,000 now.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe about 40 black owned breweries. There's
Wow.
like 60 now.
Yeah.
So like, again, I got to bring that correlation that there still is a huge disparity
Mm-hmm.
for a number of reasons, whether it be access to capital, whether it means that there are financing entities that don't believe in the idea that black owned craft beer brands can garner the patrons
Mm-hmm.
in order to sustain a business, which is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that we were able to prove and showcase with this residency here at Creature Comforts is
Yeah.
like, they clearly, hats off to the homies in Athens. They're in a
Oh,
college town, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And that's not to discount the impact of their liquid and their philosophies and their
Yeah. Fuck, they were in
business.
a Marvel movie.
That part too.
Yeah.
So when you have those factors around you, which I'm sure were also considered and contemplated, you kind of create this inertia, this movement
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people aren't able to do. I'm not sure that Creature Comfort downtown LA was able to capture that same,
Essence. Yeah.
yeah. And one of the things that we were able to prove is that crowns and hops could absolutely be the tide that lifts all ships.
Yeah.
And during some of the most problematic, some of the most difficult and challenging times in Los Angeles and downtown Los Angeles, we've been able to bring
No,
we've been
you're
able
good.
to bring a certain level of sustainability to this tap room. We've been able to invite our Crowns and Hops community to a brick and mortar, to a physical space that they've never been able to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And almost, I would say 100% of the time I would be here, and I've been here a lot.
Yeah.
People would come to me and be like, I didn't even know this was here.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
we had the conversation as soon as I got here because I
yeah,
was like, I'd only been here once.
yeah. Or if you were a diehard craft beer fan,
Yeah.
you had only been here once,
Yeah.
or you had never been here, and it was like, okay, what needs to happen in order to change that? And Benny and I will scream this from the rooftops: culture.
Yeah.
Culture is one of the reasons why our new brand refresh, which maybe we could talk a little bit about,
Yeah.
is focused on the culture. And to not be so code with it, I'm talking about black and brown culture.
Yeah.
We live in a black and brown city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The majority of California is Latino,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
And to not acknowledge the culture is in our opinion a huge miss.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we've been able to showcase that, whether or not we do a freestyle Friday or whether or not we do a salsa Saturday,
Yeah.
like you see the culture show up. And to me, that's been one of the biggest missing components to craft beer.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and one thing I will say, because even about because I mean, speaking of like to the Hispanic community, like a lot of times, like getting your well, I mean, I'll call him Theo, but like, uncle or whatever, or your
You call him
grandpa.
Tio.
Yeah.
All of my nieces, all of my nieces and nephews call me. This is brilliant. Just sidestep
There it
craft
is.
beer for a
No, you're
second.
great. Yeah.
Like my partner's Dominican,
Okay.
so her niece was a little confused initially. She was like Tio Tio. She was
Yeah.
like
She's
she
like,
was like Tio Uncle Tio Tio. She was like Tios. I was like,
oh.
I was like, what? And we just kind of sat there and laughed. She like literally pluralized or is that
There
the
you
word?
go.
See the craft beer starting to sink in. But yeah,
No.
she literally came up with a nickname for
Yeah.
me and uncle's
Yeah.
Tios.
I love
So
that.
it's okay.
But it's about that though. It's like, man, like, getting like when it comes to the Hispanic community, I remember talking to like Brujeria and like a couple other like, Hispanic owners.
Shout out to Augustine and the homies. What up?
There you go. And like talking about how like sometimes it's tough getting like like the Theo or like getting the people like to get away from it. Like, hey, try this. Just try this. Try this Mexican lager. But then eventually, because even like a city like Pico Rivera was against having a brewery there initially, and then they realized what it was, and then they kind of opened it to it, and now it's like if you can, there's a beer out there for everybody. And it's about willing to go and find it. But it's great with what you do is reaching out to, like you said, incorporating culture into the brewery and incorporating it into your brand and to get people to understand, like, you don't have to drink all the macros that are on the thing. There's someone out there that's making something that is for you.
Bro, you know what? And I'm not sure how much you knew about this because you're 100% right.
Huh.
Exposure is the key.
Yeah.
Access is the key.
Yeah.
I remember I was reading Quench Your Thirst by, I'm sure I'm fucking the name up, by Jim Cook,
Oh, yeah.
Boston Beer Company,
Yeah.
which hands down is the best beer brewery owner book. Every aspiring beer owner should read this book. And I don't say that because we also want to brew an American dream, which
Love
is
it.
super fucking cool. But when I tell you I reread the book, he addresses so many obstacles that you are going to face as a brewery owner. I promise you, everything he's already laid out.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn. When I read it again, I was like, bro, I should have read this again, like after year one.
Mm-hmm.
All that being said, one of the things that he talked about was about how distributors, in order to meet their quotas, would dump dead beer into the hood.
Jesus.
Like, so that they would meet their numbers, they would take beer that was either already coated or already, dead beer and sell it for like discount to the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the impact of that, one,
I always check cans now, dude.
what we do, but what about someone that doesn't know
They just grab
born on days? They just grab it, and what if that beer fucking sucks?
Yeah, because then that's it. There's a trickle effect. Like, fuck, I don't want to go to that brewery.
Right.
I tried their beer already, and it's not good.
I'm wondering, man, them white people beer, they drink fucking terrible beer, bro. They've had the worst
experience
with that beer. And then when you think about the access to fresh premium beers, it's in no areas of color. None.
Yeah.
If you even think about now, I even live in the city of Lamar Park. So, that's Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw. There isn't a brewery in 5 miles of us. Where we sit right now is one of the closest breweries that you can get to from the inner city. And if you think about that access, when you think about breweries like El Segundo, like you can walk from your home. You could take a $5 Uber ride from your home and to your home in order to access premium craft beer. If you are in the Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw area, one, you ain't walking a shit.
Yeah.
Two, distributors aren't bringing craft beer to your region. And then three, the access, rather you want to Uber or you want to ride share, is way too expensive. So you don't venture out.
Yeah.
And, let's call it what it is. There are people driving a little faded from their from their pub, from
100%.
their tap rooms all the time. You're not doing that in an over-policed city.
Oh, hell no.
There's no way. So then if that is the formula, if those are the components, why would anybody in a black or brown neighborhood embrace craft beer?
Understandable. Yeah.
And that has always been at the core of why we launch Crowns and Hops.
Yeah.
Accessibility is critical. So I'm excited to announce we just got in the Albertsons Vons Pavilions.
Fucking right. Let's go.
So the Dopest Hazy IPA and Trill Pills will be
I love that.
starting next week, actually.
Fuck yeah.
So it's a lot of work, but accessibility is critical because again, if you can't have access to the best of an industry,
Yeah.
why would you embrace it? Why would you exalt it? Why would you fall in love with it? You ain't falling in love with 5-month-old beer.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I always say, because I know I talk about the find your beer thing, but it's like go out on a brewery adventure. But like find your beer is not just about finding like the beer that'll get you into it. It's about finding something that you love in life and then you're not willing to live without.
But a lot of that is based off of it being locally accessible.
Exactly. That's true too. Yeah.
So it's like, there's a reason why a lot of these breweries that take off are named after a city.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's
it's
something,
the last name or a city for sure.
Bro, there's something about it that says, yep, I fuck with this because I see myself in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you think about, and it's funny, it's the same thing kind of where I talk about with Oktoberfest. You literally have beers that people do not know of because they are still classified as German beers.
Yeah.
The beer names are German or they are cloaked in a culture that maybe didn't fuck with.
Or they see the color of it.
I mean, bro, like, have you've been to an Oktoberfest festival before? Like that's the most like black, brown shit on the planet. Like, don't get me wrong, the motherfuckers party. They get their drink on.
Yeah.
But the reality is, kind of back to my earlier point, if you don't have it in you to assimilate to something, if your entire life professionally or whatever is based on assimilation, the last thing you want to do is go into another thing and not be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that was like, man, I want to be me here.
Yeah.
I want to embrace it. I want to rap some lyrics. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this, and again, I'm not firing shots at the culture.
Oh no,
I'm just
get
saying,
it. Yeah.
Like you have to be aware that muscle of assimilation is toxic.
Do you remember, I mean, the movie, The Departed?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
When Mark Wahlberg tells Leo, he's like, I bet you have 2 different accents, do you? Don't you? Yeah, so he had to be 2 different people and 2 different things.
Southie.
Yeah. That South fucking, I was going to do a Boston accent. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, same. I just tried now. I'm pretty sure I failed.
I can do this like Lilo and Stitch's voice pretty good, but that's about it.
You got to do it, man.
Ohana means family.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
my kid, I'm going to play this portion of the podcast for my kid.
There we go. Well, what's your kid's name?
Elliot. OG Elliot Mael Coste Hunter.
Elliot, Ohana means family.
There it is.
I'll send you the timestamp.
See, that for all the listeners to the tap room.
Yeah.
This is when the beer starts to hit.
That's exactly.
There it is.
No, but man, I honestly, I love talk about everything that everything that you've gone through and everything that because I know it's like when it comes to the community, even talking to females within the community, like they're so few and far between. Like I feel like there's more now, but still like just trying to, hear those, hear them talk about stuff. And
shout out to Latrice, the beery godmother.
Oh, dude.
If you don't she's killing it, bro.
I fucking love her. She's amazing. I was going to ask you, Ale. Do you know Ale?
Man, bro. So let me tell you something about Ale Sharpton.
Yeah.
When I Googled black people and beer, he was the first person that came up. This is like 2014, 2015. He did a YouTube podcast with craft beer.
Yeah.
With none other than DJ Quick.
That's fucking badass.
Bro, I was like, oh shit. And I reached out to him immediately. Like that is the homie. Like we are good friends.
He's a great fucking guy. And I remember I remember I reached out to him one time, cause I didn't have very many followers. I was like, hey man, I love what you're doing. Would you be willing to be on the show? And he was all in. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So we did the
He
thing.
send you some stickers?
Yeah. And then he even had some beer sent to me too. I was like, fucking right. Like, this is
Yeah.
the coolest guy I've ever met.
Remember beer trading?
Oh yeah.
Is that still a thing?
I think
Are
so.
people still trading?
I still see like hardcore craft beer people that do it, but because I feel like it's more accessible now with like things like Tavor and stuff like that. It's
Tavor is still a thing?
yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
What up, Tavor? Don't
So,
forget about us.
Yeah, they were a sponsor like 20 episodes ago. But talking to him, and then like I remember telling him, I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be out in Georgia because I'm a big Braves fan. He's a Yankee, but
How the fuck are you a Braves fan and not a day? I should end this podcast now.
oh yeah, no. So okay, what happened was I was a kid. My dad's a Dodger fan. My dad was a Dodger Yankee fan. Like he would cheer. He had an AL
That
team
sounds like my house.
and a National League team.
Yeah.
But growing up, my dad was like, which was honestly I thought was really cool. Like looking like in retrospect, like my dad was like, you don't have to cheer for my teams, man. If you wanna pick your own team, you can. So like I grew up. I every team I love was like big in the '90s. So the Packers. So with Brett Favre.
Okay. Yep.
MJ. So I'm still a Bulls fan.
Mm.
The Colorado Avalanche and the Atlanta Braves because of Chipper Jones. So like I'm everywhere, but like I've never like wavered. Like they're still all my teams. The Bulls, they break my fucking heart every year, but I got to see the GOAT do his thing in the '90s.
So I will push back on that.
Yeah.
And I will say that's exactly why people look at California, specifically Los Angeles, and say there are no real fans.
Okay, that's
as a beer fan,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that you've traveled all over the U.S., there is something to be said about the loyalty.
Oh, like the stigma behind that?
That the cities have for their teams that does not exist
Mhm.
in the town of transplants.
Understandable, yeah.
That is Los Angeles. Like it is almost sacrilegious.
Yeah.
To be any other fan if you're in New York or if you are in Green Bay.
Mhm.
And there was something. I used to actually be a Niner fan, but that was because we didn't have a team.
Podcast's over.
Look, I'm Rams all day.
Could have been worse. Could have been a Cowboy.
But the reality is there are, if you think about the migration of Black people to California, there is this sense of loyalty that a lot of, people brought with them. So that's why you'll see a lot of Steeler fans from the Midwest. You'll see a lot of Cowboys fans. But then the Raiders were like one of the first, like I would call them more of a brand. To be like, man, like this is us. Like, fuck with us because this is like we gonna like ride hard for you. And that's why I believe there's so many Latino and Black Raiders fans. But for me,
my first jersey ever was a Jeff Hostetler Raider jersey. But
wow, Hostetler,
Jeffy Hostetler. But then, like, that's when my dad told me, he's like, you don't have to cheer for the teams that I cheer for. You can pick your own. You can be your own man. You can do your own thing.
My dad was just a player, dude. He was an LA player. He didn't.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with any teams, if you will. But I would say I instituted that in my family.
Okay.
Like we are like diehard Dodger fans.
Yeah, I get that.
Hardcore. I mean, my kid was saying "Let's go Dodgers" before he even understood.
There it is.
Who the Dodgers were.
What it even meant.
But I think if anything, I love the idea of introducing loyalty and kind of swinging it back to craft beer. It's almost the same thing. You introduced excellence to someone, and that excellence can come from a number of different sources.
Russian River, Sierra Nevada.
Hey. Is that where we're going? Are we going Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, we'll make our way there. But I mean, a lot of times too, like when I ask people like what their first craft beer experience was, a lot of times it was like, something from Russian or Sierra Nevada.
Bro, well, so again, mine's was, so it's kind of split. It's spliced. My first craft beer, before I understood what craft beer was a Rogue Dead Guy.
Ooh, okay.
And this was 2006, maybe?
Yeah.
Ish. So that like it was still special. Like it was like, to see just like this,
Mm-hmm.
usually got a brown bottle with a skeleton and a Pope hat on.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what is
Yeah.
this? What is this serum? What is this warlock juice that I'm drinking here? And I couldn't find it. And I was living in a pretty good neighborhood at the time. And there was a Bristol Farms not very far away from me. Cause I'm like, if I'm gonna find some
Yeah. It's like
warlock juice, let me
yeah.
go here.
It's like trying to
And
park at a Trader Joe's.
bro, I tried my best to describe the beer that I had,
Yeah.
that I tasted. I couldn't describe it because
Yeah.
like my palate wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I like the beer guy there just gave up, and he was like, bro, this brewery out of Oregon just came up with this new beer called Inversion.
Mm-hmm.
Inversion was the brewery. I'm blanking.
Same.
I'm sounding that.
My eyes like one eye. I'm like, I look like Popeye right now.
No, not Ballast Point. Not San Diego. Jesus. Shoots.
No, yeah, there you go.
Shoots. And it was the hoppiest thing I had ever had in my life. I mean, it was like rip the enamel off your teeth.
Yeah.
Teeth hoppy. But then the next time was the Allagash Curio.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Rob Todd, also a very good friend now, owner, founder of Allagash Brewing Company.
Out in Maine, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
We got to do a collaboration with them a couple of years
that's
ago.
Cool.
It was done through our nonprofit, which before we get off the pod, we'll talk about. It's called the Trill Initiative. And we did a beer that was a blend of their Curio and our 8 Trill pills.
Oh, shit.
And we called it Curate.
Love that.
It was fucking incredible. It was an awesome beer. It was a huge honor.
Wow.
To do a collaboration with someone who ultimately changed the trajectory of my life, so shout out to Rob Todd and the Allagash team.
That's awesome. Damn, that's so cool. I did want to go back to sports because like your favorite sport.
My favorite sport, baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. But right after baseball would have to be hockey.
Oh, Colorado Avalanche, are you king, I'm assuming?
I'm a Kings fan all day.
Nothing wrong with it.
I'll give you a pound. I don't know if I'm going to freaking give you a high five on that shit. I'm like, I go way back Kings. I'm like Marty McSorley, Luke Robitaille, freaking Bernie Nichols.
Yeah.
That was my favorite player. Of course, a great one.
Yeah.
Gretzky. But like, I started watching Kings hockey back in like 89.
I love that.
And yeah, I lost years. I lost years of my life watching that last playoff run.
Oh, yeah.
Like 3 back-to-back backdoor sweeps.
Yeah.
Like being down 0-3, 3 series in a row to come back and win the cup was like, I took a vacation from sports. Like I had never been that emotionally invested in a sports moment in my life. And I stopped watching sports for about 2 years.
Oh, dude,
it was too much.
Yeah. And that I told myself, because I think it was the year that the Abs won the cup. I think it was 2022. They were playing the Blues, and I was like, fuck, I hate the Blues. Just because I'm like the Abs would always have the toughest time. And then Jordan Binnington was, one of the, he's like not up to Patrick Waugh, but like close, like a really amazing goalie. And I was like, we're going to blow this fucking series. I had a fucking panic attack while I was sitting on my fucking chair watching the game. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, yeah. I was like, I don't want to have, like, bro, I don't want
to. When I tell you, when we got that last cup, what was that, 2019?
No. So it was 2012, 2014. And
I'm bugging. Yeah, that was tough, bro. It was, shout out to the Kings, by the way.
Yeah.
LA Kings.
But they have a good young team right now. Huh?
Yeah. We need to take a re-up break.
Oh, re-up break. Oh, actually, I had to finish my beer here.
Yep.
And we're back.
Yeah, man.
Double fisted. Got the Dopest and the Dopetoberfest, the Marzen.
Dopeness.
Yeah.
All around you.
Yeah. Surrounded by dopeness. So, because you have a collab coming.
Yeah,
Tell us
man.
about that.
Yeah, so again, I think I mentioned before, we have a nonprofit called the Trill Initiative.
Hmm.
It's dedicated to giving resources and capital to Black-owned breweries around the country.
Love that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't love it during this particular climate.
No.
But the reality is we have always been aware that there's certain obstacles that Black brewers and Black brewery owners face that just don't exist in other communities. So it's always been our goal to showcase the thing that we believe is missing. You know, if you
Hmm.
think about all of the breweries that exist in the country, they represent different facets of our American experience, whether it be surfing, hiking,
Yeah.
loving pets and dogs,
Mm.
loving smoking cannabis, whatever the case might
Yeah.
be. There's something that is indicative of the culture of our country. And it was the thing that we always saw was missing in craft beer was the culture of the Black community. And during 2020, we created the A Trill Initiative to really focus on the disparity of Black craft breweries. Shout out to the MB2A, the National Black Brewers Association.
There you go.
I'm one of the founding members of that nonprofit, of that organization. And one of the things that Crowns and Hops decided to do in 2024, we decided that any collaboration that Crowns and Hops would do with another brewery, that a portion of those proceeds would go to the 8 Trill Initiative Fund that we would give back to Black brewers in need.
Love that.
The first brewery that jumped in on that collaboration was Allagash,
That's awesome.
which was great. So we are excited to have another collaboration coming out. It'll be releasing in time for GABF. It'll be entered
Okay.
in the collaboration category of
Yeah.
beers to be judged upon. The beer I can't release a name of yet
That's
because
okay.
I didn't clear it with the crew,
It's all right.
but the beer will be available throughout the region, everywhere that Lawson's Finest, which
Yeah.
is that collaborator, is distributed. We're super excited about that beer. Clearly, it's going to be an IPA.
There it is.
I mean, shit, Sip of Sunshine.
Yep.
Remember, we used to trade for Sip of Sunshine, bro.
Yeah.
I used to get Sip of Sunshine in Bombers.
Oh, there you go.
Like that's like way back.
You know what we could do? So, because this will be out, I think, just before GABF.
Mm.
So maybe you can, because I know you have your lapel mics. Maybe you could record a little something and be like, "This is the beer," and we'll tack it on at the end of the episode, leading into GABF.
So we'll pause here. So this is a pause that everybody listening isn't imagining. The name of the beer is.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the outro.
But
that's not the name of the beer.
No. But it's exciting to be able to still collaborate with leaders in our industry, with breweries that are radical about what it means to incite change.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is necessary. Shout out to Randy Mosher, probably one of the most important books I ever read in brewing, Radical Brewing.
Okay.
It literally, if anybody needs to re-examine why they brew beer, the impact of beer, and why it's important, why it's timeless, and why it will go on, read that book, Radical Brewing by Randy Mosher.
Yeah, the Egyptians have been brewing it for fucking how long, right?
Bro,
so.
I mean, but it's funny, and I'm just gonna like name drop right now, but you have the Garrett Olivers of the world.
Yeah.
For me, he also goes on that Mount Rushmore. It's one thing to be a representative of your community, of your culture. It's another thing to be the most excellent in your craft. And Garrett has been that for years, even with the championing of the fonio grain, is some of the most impactful work that we could do, not only as entrepreneurs in the craft beer space, in the beer space, but just innovation is crazy that it's still coming from someone like a Garrett Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the collaboration comes out during GABF. It comes out during Black Brewers Day,
which
is October 10th. And yeah, we're excited for the community to support it,
I'm excited
to
for you,
talk
man.
about it. Yeah, same.
Fucking
Like,
right.
like I'm still a fucking beer geek at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Like I geek
Hey,
out
no
every
matter
time
how
we
many
meet.
years you've been doing this or how long you've been a fan of it, it's not going away.
Yeah,
Because you know what? There's another place eventually maybe one day down the road that you go to, like, oh fuck. Like, and it's a style you've had countless times. And then you try it, you're like, holy shit, what did they do to this?
yeah. Shout out to again. Like, hopefully you don't mind me giving flowers.
No, give them all.
But like Henry Nguyen and Adriana of Monkish Brewing.
Oh yeah.
It's funny how that brand, they got undeserved shots at them for being like, appropriators of culture when no one understood how much not only they appreciated it, but lived it. Back when I was, looking into craft beer and visiting
Yeah.
craft breweries, consistently, they were the only brewery I could go to and hear hip hop. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like dope hip hop. Like the motherfuckers would just put on a whole album and let it run.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I had an opportunity to see them like a couple of weeks ago. I just randomly had an appointment for something completely non-beer related, but I just so happened to be in Torrance and I just like pulled up just to be a beer drinking guy, drinking with other beer drinking people.
Yeah.
And I just ran into them and got to really tell them how much I was grateful for for what they did in our industry, what they continue to do in our industry, and what they also did for me and Benny. Even
Yeah.
when we launched our influencer brand, they took us in. They allowed for us to have space. They would invite us to the anniversaries and allow me to be with their friends and family. And I'll never forget that feeling of being seen, and that was something that was and continues to be an experience of many craft beer lovers of color,
Yeah.
is they do not feel seen.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're super excited to always be vocal about.
Yeah.
And ideally when we're able to give another contribution from the Trill Foundation, we can make an impact on those that are looking to make an impact on
Yeah.
their respective communities.
It's about bringing everyone together through beer. And there's, like, I know I said it already, but like, there's a beer out there for everybody. It's just like, if you're like, when you see, it's kind of like, yeah, seeing some like, oh man, like, you know, Denzel, one of the greatest actors, or Morgan Freeman for that fucking matter, like one of the greatest actors of all time. Like, fuck,
I have a feeling you have a Morgan Freeman poster on your wall.
oh, do you know,
I'm
I
just
honestly, I love, like, I'm such a movie buff. Like,
sure.
I think
Same.
I think I own like 900 DVDs and Blu-rays.
All right, top 10 movies, and you don't have to do 10, and they don't have to be in order.
Okay.
Go.
So Shawshank's in there.
Okay.
Top Gun's in there.
Top Gun?
Yeah. Just because it's such a fuck. Like, I grown up in the
Okay.
80s.
Okay. No judgment. Keep going.
Dead Poet Society. Glory.
Ooh.
Gosh, Young Guns.
All right, pause. I'm gonna give you some of mine.
Yeah.
As you round yours out, the good ones. I would have to say Glory is definitely in there. It's one of the reasons
It's a
that
banger.
I felt comfortable about going into the military.
Yeah.
Matrix.
Okay.
Definitely have to go Fight Club.
Oh, hey, what? There's only a couple rules. So.
So I know. So easy on this one, but I do feel like cinematically is probably one of the best stories. Legends of the Fall.
Oh, it's a banger movie.
Like what?
Yeah. Tristan. Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah. It was like, that was like right after fucking
Anthony.
Yeah, it was right after what did he do? Gosh, with the fly fishing movie with his brother. Fuck, what was it called?
You lost me, bro.
No, oh God, I can't remember. I'll remember it after.
I cannot help you on that one. And Do the Right Thing still hits in ways that, I saw Do the Right Thing randomly in one of those outdoor cinema kind of things, and I could not believe how relevant it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy how Radio Raheem got choked out by the police in the middle of a black city in a film that came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
It was like, do I got that right? Was it 80s?
I think so.
Possibly. I'm totally fumbling that
No,
time
you're
date
good.
stamp. But all right, now I'm giving it back to you.
Damn, like you know what I love, and like me and my sister both love it. My dad loves it too. Is Straight Outta Compton. That movie, like, but I have the director's cut. Like, I like. I mean, they're both great.
But that's like
I know it's a newer movie, but it's still like that movie because I mean, it gets growing up listening to
my
like.
girl was so pissed at me sitting next to her in that theater. I literally rapped every fucking lyric to every fucking one of those. But see that was almost like a cheat. That's a cheat because it's like
Yeah,
tapping into
I mean, it's like saying
nostalgia.
"Boys in the Hood" or something like that too. But like, I love "Boys in the Hood." Like, fucking when Ricky gets shot, I'm like,
So they're great. I will go with Interstellar.
oh, it's a banger.
Makes me cry every time.
Yeah, Gravity.
And probably number one movie of all time to me has to be It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, Mary, everybody's here. Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls.
How dare you?
Jimmy Stewart.
How,
Dude,
so
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington
ooh,
with Jimmy Stewart.
yeah.
Probably one of my favorites.
Well, I will tell you, It's a Wonderful Life for anybody that is feeling low, for anybody that is feeling like their life does not have impact
Or meaning. Yeah.
or meaning. Like I watch that movie every year and I cry like a baby.
Same.
Year. It is every year, and I'm like, I'm good this year. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna, I'm not even gonna,
Yeah.
get a beer every fucking year. It gets me in a way to where I like didn't realize that I needed to remember that we all of our lives have impact.
Yeah.
All of us have people around us that are believers that understand our sacrifices, whether or not we believe they see them or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Wonderful Life, hands down.
Oh, it's
Like
a banger.
I can't think of anything that surpasses that. And also the filmmaking. If you look
the way
at
it's shot, yeah. It's beautiful. Cinematically, it's beautiful.
it's way ahead of its time.
I have the Blu-rays where it's like you have the black and white and you have the color version. I prefer the black and white, but like that movie, my dad would make us watch it as kids. And I just remember thinking as a kid, I was like, fuck, like, why am I watching this? Like there's like, Arnold, there's like, Hey Arnold Christmas I could be watching.
Bro,
but
it's also kind of not a Christmas movie.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but it isn't because it's kind of like reminds me of like, what's the Christmas Carol kind of in a way?
Stop.
Yeah.
How dare you?
No, not in a way, because it was around.
So sort of.
Yeah.
But what I will say, I mean, if you think about the way the movie starts, it starts in like the heavens, which aren't even heavens. It's like the universe.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it for the first time. I'm like, what is this movie? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like they're going to start it here?
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets so real so quick at the
100%.
end. And I'm not going to blow it for anybody that hasn't seen it.
I mean, it's been around for like 70 years, I feel like.
I had never seen it until I was like 40 years old.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I had never seen. And the funny thing is I used to work in commercial production and printing for Paramount Pictures.
Oh, fuck.
And I had worked on the Blu-ray and a DVD.
Oh, that's the one I have.
So you probably have the work that I helped.
Oh, there it is.
But that being said, I had never watched the movie. I never, like, I mean, hence another thing, like there wasn't a lot of reverence around like white films or what we perceived as white narratives in a black home.
That's understandable.
So it was never introduced to me. And I saw it for the first time, granted, it smoked a J. And, it was Christmas time. I was going through a pretty crazy divorce. And I was like, let me just put it on and, watch a Christmas movie.
Balling.
Man, I had snot bubbles. I had to pause the movie.
Yeah, when he's on the bridge, just wanting to fucking end it. And,
Bro, all that being said, I think we are at a time to where people are losing a lot of hope.
Yeah.
To where people don't see how their good intentions and their moments of taking risk
Mm-hmm.
on what it means just to be a good human, just to be a good contributor, a good civilian. People
Yeah.
are not able to see the purpose in that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I watch the movie every year, is it
Yeah.
reminds me.
And sometimes, like, I say this because, I mean, what's weird is, like, because I love movies so much. It was a quote from the movie called Definitely Maybe with fucking Ryan
Mm,
Reynolds. But he's like doing this thing, whatever. And he's like, and somebody's like, that's kind of corny or cheesy. And he's like, yeah, but sometimes I feel like we need cheesy in our life.
mm,
Like, we need that corny, like, kind of, like, sometimes it's okay to be that way. Like, sometimes people are just like, oh, that's fucking, oh, if you're not being edgy, or you're not trying to cancel somebody, you're freaking, you're just a hunky dory kind of person. But dude, it's okay to just be corny sometimes or be cheesy or to have those kind of beliefs or morals and stuff like that. But, like, like, for me, like, I always want to see the best in people,
sure.
but I also had to learn my lesson through that. Like, and realize, kind of like how you, like, obviously you had to realize, like, you dealt with somebody thinking they had your best interest at heart, and then they fucking ruined your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a long time. Now I'm like, if you bring drama to my life,
Mm.
gone.
So speaking of gone, I'll throw two more movies in the mix before we move on.
Yeah.
No
Gone.
Country for Old Men.
Oh, it's a banger. Yeah.
Bro, it took me the longest to realize there's no score.
Yeah.
There's no music.
Oh, Jaws is one for me too. I love
Ooh.
Jaws.
And There Will Be Blood.
So
Daniel Day-Lewis, though.
when I watched that movie, that my dad took me to the movie. He's like, this is going to win an Academy Award. We need to go see this.
Mm.
So my dad was a movie guy with me.
He's no longer with us?
Oh, no. He's still with me. Thank God. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
What up, Dad?
Yeah.
Like, Dad been getting a lot of shots out in this,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of flowers on the podcast. We had
Yeah.
to confirm that.
Juan Xavier.
What's his name? Juan?
Yeah, but it was his name John, but like he goes by, I mean, his real name is Juan Xavier.
Juan Xavier. That's like a most interesting man in the world
Yeah.
name.
And when I heard,
Juan Xavier.
I would always tell my friends, like, yeah, my dad's middle name is Xavier, like Professor X. As a kid. But I remember him telling me, like, we need to go see this movie. I was like, all right, let's go see it. I remember watching it as a kid and thinking, like, well, not a kid. I was maybe like 16, 17 when it came out, and thinking, like, man, like, fuck, this is boring. But then I watched it later on in life, and, like, maybe 10 years ago, and now I watch it periodically. Whenever time if I see it that it's on a streaming service, I'll put it on there, and I'm like, man, like, there's so much nuance and so much, like, underlying, like, tones to that movie, where, like, of what he was doing, and, like, yeah, he may have loved the kid, but he was really, like, it was really about just that, what capitalism is and stuff like that too. But it's
Ego
still
and capital, man.
Yeah.
Like it's a killer no matter how you chop it up.
Oh yeah. And
the funny thing is, it's set through Southern California,
yeah.
which a lot of people don't know. Like all the way from San Pedro all the way on up to where I currently live right now, in Baldwin Hills, which still has the oil rigs.
Yeah.
Which is like,
and they're right by me with Long Beach too. They're like just down the way.
Yeah, so I'm also a huge comic book head, though.
Same,
bro. Like that we're talking about like the DNA of craft beer drinkers, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I remember I tell this story. I mean, to anyone that'll listen, like, when I was a kid, my mom and my dad got separated or divorced, and I would go see my dad on Fridays, and we would go to Monrovia, or Uptown Monrovia, I think it is. And he'd be like, all right, well, like, what do you want to do? Like, let's go get a burger. And it was like, but Dad, there's a comic book store over there. And I was 5. So he would take me to the comic shop on Fridays, and we'd walk down and go get a burger. I'd get 2 or 3 comics, maybe a football card or 2. And then we'd go get a burger. And I've always, Superman for me was always my guy.
Is that your goat?
He'll always be my goat.
Okay.
Who's yours?
Ooh, that's tough.
Well, what do we do top 5? So you gave me the top 10, we'll hit you with the top 5.
Okay, so Daredevil.
Oh, okay, I love that.
Which I'm over the top. That one that Netflix.
Oh yeah,
gave him the.
They gave him a chance, a platform. I feel
they
like
gave him a chance, and they told it in a way that actually spoke to the relationship between him and Kingpin, which was freaking fantastic. X-Men.
Okay.
Obviously, I felt like Wolverine was
Yeah.
Like the man, I felt like
Was
Logan was the story that actually gave it enough.
Oh yeah.
Like actually
Like the
let
gravitas
Logan,
behind it.
like they let Logan be Logan.
Yeah.
Like in that movie without being, like with the like crying and
Yeah.
it's like, bro, like come on, man, that's fucking Logan.
It was great. So one of the greatest story runs of all time was Old Man Logan.
Yes.
Easy. Yeah.
Batman. I'm definitely I mean, I was like year one, year two.
Oh yeah.
Freaking Killing Joke. Like Gotham by Gaslight,
Oh,
Son of Demon.
when
Like
when the what's it called? Jack the Ripper.
yes,
Yeah.
like Batman, like that. Like the book Batman was pretty incredible, and I'm sure I got another one in there that I don't want to forget. But those are kind of like my top.
Yeah. Did you ever read Superman Speeding Bullets?
I was never into Superman.
Okay, but this one in particular,
Mm.
he crash lands in Gotham.
Ooh.
And Thomas and Martha find him, and he becomes Batman.
Oh.
Superman with Clark. Well, not he's not. He was Bruce, but with Superman's powers, he becomes Batman. And
That's cool.
Yeah, and what happens was when Joker kills Thomas and Martha, Superman. Well, yeah, I guess it's not Superman yet, but Bruce at that time, because he has heat vision, melts the scars into Joker.
Ooh.
And he ended up being Lex Luthor.
What?
So it was like a whole thing.
How have I missed this?
Yeah. So dude, I was such a I'm telling you, I'm a super nerd when it comes to stuff.
Yeah, that's cold.
Yeah.
I would also have to go Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man.
I think also like there came a point to where like everybody was like on Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, it splintered off in a spectacular Amazing.
Yeah. And then like 2099, I think they did. And
then fucking, Todd McFarlane, launched Image, and then that Spider-Man was something else.
Mm-hmm. And like with Spawn and everything else too.
It was freaking incredible. Yes, with Spider-Man.
And that was the thing when we were kids, like it wasn't popular. Like I remember like not telling my friends that I was into comic books because like, like, oh, look at this fucking nerd. Now it's like a part of culture now. Like if you're not into it.
What are your, since we're going to go down in numbers, what are your top 3 books that you own?
I'll do a series. So Man of Steel that John Byrne did in the late 80s when they did the Crisis.
Yep.
And then John Byrne came right after, and it was like, I think it was like 6 books. I think it was.
No. I mean, so like of value. I think like, what are your top like 3 books that you have?
Oh fuck. Of value.
So I'll tell you mine only because I'll give you a second. I have Black Panther 1.
Oh shit. Okay.
I have Shazam 1, and I have, what is the other one on the wall? Because they're on my son's wall right now.
Love that.
Oh, I could see it. I got Shazam 1, I got Black Panther 1, and it was funny because people looked at me also when I kept Black Panther. They're like, why the fuck you even have it? I have a comic book called Black Goliath.
Oh.
And it came out during the same window of time.
Okay.
He was kind of like this mixture of like Power Man and also, like this Luke Cage kind of character. But I held on to it the same way I held on to Black Panther. Everybody was like, man, fuck what it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even have this still? And
go
figure.
Yeah.
That they're literally they're framed in UV protected glass.
Oh yeah.
On my son's wall. He can climb a little bit higher right now. So I'm about ready to reposition them bad boys.
Okay. So now that I know I have an OG #1 Watchmen. But that was like it's not if you got graded, it'd probably be like a 5.6 maybe. But still, it's an OG Watchmen that my dad didn't know what he was buying me. Wow. Because when I read Watchmen, I was like,
would it have like Mr. Manhattan on the cover or something?
Yeah. No, it was just literally the
button.
Yeah, the button.
Yeah.
So I have that. I have a Darth Vader #4 that it's either 3 or #4 with the first appearance of Dr. Aphra of like the new run of Marvel. But like if it's graded as like a 9.6 and above, it's like worth like $1,500. I also have original not Frank Miller, sorry, Alan Moore Swamp Thing from the 80s.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, I love Swamp Thing. He's one of my favorite characters. So
Mm.
Superman's my favorite, but then it's like Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, and a few other ones.
Yo, the cover art for them Swamp Things were fucking crazy.
Oh, fire.
Like I went. So by the way, we have literally jumped into like total craft beer nerd.
We're 2 hours in, and right now we're just talking comics.
Bro, so Conan.
Oh, the Barbarian,
bro.
Get in there all nice and deep, like.
When I tell you, like there were a few books that I was grabbing when I first started. There was Daredevil, it was Conan. Like I loved Daredevil. I thought he was dead.
Oh yeah.
At the end of every fucking book. Like it was like, really, bro? Like you're dead again? And I kept buying them. But between that and Conan, because I used to always try and draw those covers.
Yeah.
And then through some crazy trade that also included the Black Panther #1.
Okay.
I had a bunch of Swamp Things.
I had a bunch of Swamp Things. Yeah.
I had a bunch of, I got a Fantastic Four #12, I think. I got some gems in that, and I traded them for like some $2 bills and like.
So I have a stack of like old stuff that I'll never get rid of. They're like, they wouldn't be worth shit, but I want to like bring them to like, give them to some people, or even like give it, because I donate to when I can, whenever I go over there to Unsung with Mike over there. Like I'll always try to bring him comics or whatever, even if it's old stuff, like kids can read it and they can, do their thing. But I have some stuff that you might like some good stuff. I have we talked about value, but what's your most favorite comic of all time? One of your favorites.
That's probably two. There's this X-Men Colossus Juggernaut fight.
Okay.
That happened, and it's so random. The whole fucking book is just the fight.
I love that.
It's like they just walked into a bar, and like by page 2, they're fucking going at it. The whole fucking fight. And Juggernaut wins.
Yeah.
And just end up throwing the cash to the fucking bartender, like, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
There's that. And then there's this series, and there's 2 series. One is the Apocalypse series, and no, wait a minute. That's not what it's called. It's when Mr. Sinister.
Ooh. It's a deep cut right there, too, with Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the name of the series, but it spanned about 4 different properties, and it'll come to me, but it was so fucking brilliant. It was that, and then there was this, and I feel like they're trying to work their way up to this, but there was this Craven Spider-Man series.
Oh, the Last Hunt. What's it called?
Something like that, but it spans
Craven's Last Hunt.
It was across Spectacular, Amazing, and Spider-Man, and it went across all 3 of those books. And it was the most brilliant. It was dark. It was in depth. It got into the psychology of both of the characters. And I typically remember the name of this, and I can't.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, that and Son of Demon. Son of Demon, Batman.
Yeah,
that graphic novel was incredible.
Oh, it's a Batman. I don't know if you might have read it, but it's called Batman Noel. And so it's Batman's kind of like, I know we talked about
Santa.
It's a Wonderful Life, but it's like the Christmas Carol, but with Batman. And like there's a point in it where like there's the different ghosts, but one of them is Joker.
It's like Arkham Asylum?
Kind of, yeah. And Joker drags him to his fucking parents' grave and drops him right in the grave.
That's cool. Arkham Asylum was pretty brilliant.
Oh,
too.
I have the hardcover.
Ooh, do you?
Yeah.
With like the embossed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I have the hardcover.
Once again, you are listening to 2 fucking geeks. I wanted that hardcover so much.
Yeah.
I don't think I could convince my mom at the time.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. I have the hardcover, but there was also a leather bound.
Yeah.
And the leather bound was the one that I wanted so badly. Arkham Asylum, the artwork, it's watercolor.
Yeah.
Man, that you talk about a dark comic.
It's fucking fantastic.
Woo!
Yeah. When you say Twinkle Twinkle, that's that's the one.
Jeez. Yeah.
It's another one that I love. And I was actually talking with my buddy because he's a comics guy. I don't know if you don't follow him, you should check his stuff out because his name's Comics and Brews. So what he does,
I feel like I've seen him.
Yeah, he does he has his show and he'll do like 30-minute episodes about he'll pick a character
like he did one about Lex Luthor just specifically for this show, and like talked about because I was like, dude, you got to read this book, and it's just called Luthor.
I think I have that.
Yeah,
Is it the one where
it's
he's
just his face on the thing.
No, but it's like his body. It's like a
Oh,
painting.
I know what you know. I know that one. That's the black and gold.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yes.
But I know
With,
which
like,
one
a
you're talking
green
about.
suit
Yeah,
on.
we're nerding out so hard right now. We're nerding out so hard. People are gonna be like, let's just turn this off now.
Like, bro, so you know what? Just to kind of go to craft beer again real
Yeah.
quick. That's also another thing that I found in craft beer that transcends race.
Yeah.
It transcends communities where you're from. There's these things that we become hyper obsessed with, these details, these stories, these narratives, and then we see each other for once.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing else exists outside of these narratives that are just so brilliant, so important, and so close to the human experience.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's all about, bro.
100%, man.
Shout out to Unsung, by the way. Like every time I've gone there, it's been like
I fucking love Mike.
And I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
I don't know the brewery, and shout out to what they created.
Because you love comics, that'd be a really cool collab, bro.
Man, bro, like me.
I can text him.
I had to text him, bro, because like me, and it's funny, I got some pictures of me and my son there, and you know, as you know, the entire tap room is like just toys and comic books all over the walls, the bar, and I was like, bro, I feel like I am in Matt's Pharmacy in Altadena, California right now. I feel like I'm in the place where I would disappear.
Fuck.
You know?
Dude, I partially grew up in Altadena.
What?
Off of New York and Holliston.
Oh, bro, I grew up in the Meadows, like at the top of Loma Alta.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, me and my dad would walk to freaking Eden Canyon when I was a kid.
So the first place I used to get my comic books was Webster's Pharmacy on the top of Lake Avenue.
Fuck.
That's where I used to get all, which no longer exists.
Yeah.
You know, it's all burned down, which is super tough. Like I used to be able to take my kid to the Thrifties or the Rite Aid at the top of Altadena
Get
Drive,
some ice cream.
Lake. Like I can't take them there anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I used to get my comic books from Webster's Pharmacy, from Matt Pharmacy on the top of Lincoln.
Yeah.
And these places don't exist anymore.
I know, man. I was so grateful that my dad's house didn't burn down.
Wow.
But fuck, like it was close because you know how close that you know because how close it is to Eaton. It's only a few streets over. Yep. But man, it was like for all like it felt like it was almost like like not dominoes, but it was like kind of like here, there, and then like every other house was kind of affected by it, and it's fucked up. But thank God for We Love LA. So
yeah, dude. Yeah. Shout out to the homies at Malibu Brewing Company. We did our collaboration with them just to show that connection.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I had that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I want to say, fuck, was it? What store was it I get it at? I think it was either Louis or was it Ramirez? Maybe it might have been Ramirez. I can't remember.
Shout out to Ramirez.
Ramirez. They must have been Ramirez then. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, they're good good people. Before we finish that, because I know we've been going for 2 hours. I didn't even realize it. This has been super fun though, and I love it because we can just talk about shit. We don't have to worry about sticking to the formula or anything like that.
What things do we have to do to stick the landing?
Let's do your Mount Rushmore. We'll do that.
So, all right, so I'll just go into it. So the Mount Rushmore, I believe, is more than just breweries or brewers.
Yeah. Brewers or breweries.
So I'll go with the most non-obvious, and I already mentioned his name before, Randy Mosher. I believe that people that have written about beer, that have chronicled the experience of tasting it, of producing it, being a fan of it, are just as important, if not more important than the ones that produce it, because they are the constant between all the ups and downs that we currently experience. So Radical Brewing, I think, is one of the most important books in craft beer. It was given to me by Kip Barnes. And it is, Randy Mosher is definitely on that Mount Rushmore. Garrett Oliver, from a brewing standpoint, from an innovation standpoint, from a dedication to the culture of this thing that we call making beer, and being a Black man who, whether or not he realized it or not, was a moniker and a symbol for others like me that would choose this for their lives. So, and I'm fortunate enough to call him someone who is a friend and that I could reach out to, and that he'll probably step out of whatever crazy ass dinner that he's in, that he's probably making from leftovers from some awesome experience that he had the night before. Bob Kuntz,
Okay.
Highland Park Brewing Company. They literally helped me cultivate the palate that I currently offer to the world as far as what I believe excellent liquid is. I get upset if I feel like the liquid is not something that represents that. I'm excited when it does. So, and definitely a shout out to Tiffany, his wife, as well, because I know she is just as important to that process as well. It's funny. I think a lot of people would throw the stone image to Vinny,
Yeah.
who's going to get the nod, but Rob Coxell at El Segundo Brewing Company,
There you go.
I think, is as significant in Southern California to
100%.
the West Coast IPA. Arguably, Power Plant is as, if not more significant than Pliny the Younger. It is a beautifully balanced beer. I think what he has done from a community standpoint, mentorship standpoint to me and Benny, as far as like how we would manage our brand, and him being dedicated to producing liquid that he loves versus what the industry said it needed to produce is something that should be celebrated. Again, and they had, the Steve Austin, the 316 shit, and they have a lot of success with that. But then he ventured off into Slice and Pint as well with the homie Eli. It's funny, the dude who leads that, I met him at the bar at El Segundo Brewing Company.
Oh, okay.
Like literally just drinking beer.
And I love that.
He eventually ended up becoming one of their most important most important individuals there. I think that would be, and I'm speaking really slowly, just in case I'm missing someone, because that's Southern California. That is, a name that you probably have never heard before. Phoebe Johnson Crump.
I've never heard that name.
That is my great, great, great grandmother, who was a brewer.
Oh, shit.
She brewed from 1900 to 1930.
Wow.
In Faraday, Louisiana, just north of Faraday. I'm not even sure if the town that she lived in is even called a town anymore.
How fucking cool is that?
But man, she brewed beer. I didn't find out this fun fact until I was about 5 years into the beer game, if you will.
It was ingrained in your DNA, brother.
I don't know if I would call it DNA. I would call it more audacity.
Yeah.
To do something that
that's true. Yeah, to be willing to do that.
I wish I knew what her recipes were. Around 1930, her and her family decided to move closer to Baton Rouge, and they became more religious.
Oh, okay.
And she pretty much pushed that side of her life away. But for 30 years in the 1900s, she brewed beer during the week.
Wow.
And sold it on the weekend to people that would pull up to the porch.
That's fucking cool,
which
man.
Is crazy. So Phoebe Johnson Crump would have the last spot on the Mount Rushmore as someone, a woman of color who brewed beer.
Yeah.
Not as an indentured servant, not as a slave. She brewed it because she wanted it to and because she could sell it.
There it is.
And that is powerful to me.
Imagine being able, even now, imagine being able to roll up to somebody's house and be able to buy beer.
Right?
Can't do that shit now.
Or you probably could.
Oh man, you could find a way.
That's my Mount Rushmore, OG.
I fucking love that, man, and that's so cool. And I know I've said it already a bunch of times, but like, thank you for being willing to do this. One last thing. Oh, maybe a couple things. Before we get into that, one more comic I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
About. There's one that I own. It's not worth it. Maybe worth like $7.
Sure.
But it's called, I always say Capital Punishment. I think it is. It's when Steve Rogers dies and Frank Castle takes over as Captain America, and he calls himself Capital Punishment. You want to see what that bad motherfucker looks like?
Bro, I gotta see this shit, bro.
Yeah.
So I was a huge Frank Miller fan. Like Frank Miller did Gotham by Gaslight.
Oh yeah, banger.
Yeah, like
I love how he would have the not the cloak, but it's like the
collar.
Yeah, collar. Yeah. Let me see. I'll say Punisher.
Yeah, it's fucking hard. Yeah, I was a huge Punisher fan.
I love, dude. Even the Dolph Lundgren one, I still love that movie.
So, bro, like, but the Netflix Punisher.
Oh,
like
great!
Daredevil Punisher,
Bernthal,
yeah, bro. Like that dude. Like Disney, I hope they'll bring him back, right? I think.
I would hope so.
I mean, he's already in Born Again.
Oh yeah, there it is. Capital Punishment.
My God.
And it's like Punisher War Journal, like number 7 or some shit. I have it, but it ain't worth a damn. Like I think it's worth like maybe $7. Like I said, it's not worth much.
Yo, War Journal. I keep waiting for them to work in Bushwhacker. I mean, I know it's hard because his fucking arm turns into a gun.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There's so many great comics out there, though, man.
Like, so many great writers. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Stan Lee modeled Xavier off of MLK, and Magneto off of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
By the way,
because they came together at a certain point, but then they
by the way,
apart.
that X-Men series, you watched it, right?
Oh, the new X-Men 97. It's great.
It's fucking so hard.
Yeah,
so hard.
It's fantastic. But I mean, like watching the shows as a kid, like we don't get that. Like this was
funny is I thought it was going to be a flop because of what we watched as children.
Yeah.
But when I watched it, when I finally decided to watch, it was like some podcaster, someone that I'll listen to, that talks more about relevant political, like all these shits. He was like, X-Men 97. He was like, Gambit. He was like, I'll stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you
One of my favorite characters, Gambit. Yeah.
Bros, man, I cannot wait till the next season. And by the way, Storm, Aurora.
Yeah.
Aurora.
Yeah.
She was so hard.
But like when you're a kid.
Yo, did you know Storm has the power to literally take the oxygen out of the air? I didn't realize that was one of her powers.
I didn't know that either.
That's fucking hard, bro. Yeah. Like she can literally kill people in an instant.
Yeah.
Because she controls the elements.
That's true, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Fucking Aurora.
Nah.
That we were actually considering that for a name if we had a daughter.
Oh,
I was so happy. I was so geeked out. Like, I don't want to tell Lynette that, like, I was like geeking out. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? I'm going to have a daughter with the name of Storm. By the way, shout out to my 3 daughters.
There it is.
Soraya, Kalia, Talia. They're freaking incredible.
You're our family. I had to do a little stitch in there.
There it is.
But the one, oh, fuck. I had it and it was gone.
So the comic book you showed me, which was hard.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember now.
Come on, slide in the home, Mike. Slide in the home, bro.
He said, that's your home. Was it a Happy Gilmore?
I know. I tried to watch Happy Gilmore too.
I've heard bad things about it.
You know what?
I've heard mixed things, actually.
So here's the thing. If you think about Happy Gilmore 1, it was fucking terrible, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's
when you're right, yeah.
It's the same thing. It's terrible, and it's also like, these fucking idiots.
All right. So I'm thinking about, like, all right, I got to get you some books.
My fingers hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled gardening duty.
He's like, get me out of here. Well, the one that was the Mr. lady.
All of it.
Oh, it's so good. No, but man, I just want to, like, this is what's one thing that's really cool about just this episode in particular. We're at 2 hours, even just looking at it, we're at 2 hours and 17 minutes. That's the longest episode I've had since going back to Long Beach Beer Lab when Nadav was still there before he moved to Israel. I think we did about 3 hours. We talked about half hour about beer and 2.5 hours about comic books and video games.
There it is.
So I love this. I love this. And this is like, I'm just super grateful. And I will sound like a broken record. I don't care, because I truly am grateful for you, your story, what you guys have had to do through you and Benny, like having to deal with everything that you had to deal with, and being able to come out on the other side and still be like, fuck this, I'm gonna fucking still attack life and not be afraid of it. So
I will suggest to people that there's always another side to unfold to.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest mistake that we could ever arrive to, or the biggest conclusion we could ever arrive to that is false, is that we've arrived.
Yeah.
There's always a new idea, a new concept, something you haven't been exposed to, which also makes me always excited to be in the beer industry.
Yeah.
Because we are always pushing for innovation and a new idea. My favorite quote is, "The mind exposed to a new idea can never return to its original form."
I love
Emerson.
that.
And that's what I feel about the palate. That's what I feel about the beer. If you can expose someone's palate or their mind to something that they've never considered before, then they have an opportunity to expand. And once you've expanded, you can't go backwards.
Nope.
And that's important, not only to our industry, but also to just our human experience.
Love it. Want it. And
was that a slide in the home?
Yeah, right in, dude. That was it. Yeah. Love it, want it, and then just continue to fucking pursue what you love in life.
My man. Well, everybody look out for the refresh of Crowns and Hops is coming.
Fucking right.
I don't need to give too much more than that, other than we appreciate and we love the support that we get from our existing community, and are excited for those that will discover us for the first time.
And twinkle, twinkle, baby.
Twinkle, 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 motherfucker.
Damn it. We'll end it there. Yeah, what's the...
Nah, go ahead.
What does he say? He's a quit hating, start participating, player.
We done brought the culture to the Tap Room Podcast.
There it is. Twinkle, twinkle, baby.
Cheers.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm super grateful. Thank you, Tio. And thank you, Benny. Thank both of you for creating such a great brand and creating some great beers. Their Dopetoberfest was awesome. Their Atrial Pills, fire. The LA Sun was so good. So I'm just super grateful. And yeah, can't wait to see what you guys do next. Speaking of next week is going to be the Ailstone episode. We got to record out there. And then the week after that will be the Buds, Brews, and Booze. And then I got some other stuff in the works. I'm trying to get in touch with my boys. If you guys are listening, the Beer Belly Pod, want to get you guys back on. And also need to get some stuff lined up for some breweries as well. So we'll see how that all goes. All right. Well, I'm going to shut up now. Got to go get that food. Got to finish washing clothes. And hope you guys have a great Sunday. Sorry if I sound a little congested. I'm just so tired from all the travel. So, but yeah, so hope you guys have a great Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy some great football today, and maybe I'll lay down a bet. Who knows? Maybe if I'm feeling froggy. All right. Don't forget to get out there today and support local, drink local, and find your beer. Cheers.